it would seem that the powers that be that have the the financial resources that have been above the Pentagon, above Congress, above the Senate, would not want this passed. So how is it actually going forward?
Because because there are enough members of Congress now that have received the information that we've collected and have interviewed the top secret witnesses and whistleblowers to know that there is definitely fire and smoke where we've been saying it is for 30 years. So they are no longer deceived. And this is very much, even when that came out of committee, it came out unanimously out of Senate Intelligence and Armed Services, which, I mean, in Washington to have unanimity, never mind. I mean, just even bipartisanship on anything is unheard of. So I think that is why I'm saying these big corporations and big financial and individuals, players in this field, they know the clock is being set on them and that the game is up. Literally, the top investigator for the Senate Intelligence Committee told me, absolutely, we're getting feedback that they realize the game is up on their 80 years of illegally keeping this stuff secret. Now, here's the wrinkle. If you want to unpack this a little further, let's say they do that, clock runs out for 6 months, then what?
Yeah, exactly.
A law is of no value if no one's going to enforce it. So what I'm also working on with a group of people would be the enforcement part of it. Now, what I'm about to say is a little spooky. In fact, it's terrifying. But I've been asked to assist with a team of people who have the means, upon authorization, to basically take over all of these illegal black sites, corporate and military. But they can't do it without having actionable intelligence. So one of the things I'm putting out through your show and every other show I'm on is that we need more and more of these whistleblowers who know precisely where the materials are stored, where the man-made Raytheon, Northrop, Boeing, Lockheed devices are being built, where the ET bodies are located, where the underground base entrances are. So this is what we've been collecting for 30 years, but we need more and more detailed information because I'm handing that off to both people with the Pentagon, White House, and the Congress. And ultimately, that data is going to be needed in order for them to get any of this under control if there isn't voluntary compliance. And as you point out, these people are so powerful, wealthy, and arrogant. And one of the points I made very recently to Congresswoman Luna, who's heading up this effort in the House, along with Burchett and a couple others, when I had a meeting with her a couple weeks ago down in St. Petersburg, Florida, I said, look, you're not going to get this stuff by knocking on the front door and saying, pretty please, will you show me what you have, right? Because if anyone who saw these hearings, I was watching it at a distance. Because I already knew all the people who were going to be there and had spoken to two of the three of them in depth. And I said, when it came out that they'd gone to Eglin Air Force Base wanting to get to this area dealing with UFOs there, but they didn't go to the right place. They didn't go with law enforcement. And I can assure you, if you're running an unsanctioned deep black project that is not under supervision of the Congress or the White House, and even many of the senior people in the Pentagon that I briefed, by the way, they call themselves the have-nots at the Pentagon that are denied access to this.
Wow.
I mean, even no matter how high-ranking they are, right? We'll get into this in a minute. This is how we can prove the illegal and unconstitutional nature of these programs here and in Canada and UK and Australia and elsewhere. So what I said was, you have to go in there with first detailed information on where to go. And then you go in with, I hate to say it, with enough law enforcement force. If it has to be a SWAT team, it's a SWAT team. And you stand.
I was afraid you were going to say guns blazing.
No. I mean, what we have to do is message to the people who are your OPSECs, right? Your operation security guys. And the operation security guys, they all think they're just going, yes, sir, thinking that they're in a program that's legally sanctioned. One of the things I'm trying to do by going on shows like the Navy SEAL show, Sean Ryan and other big shows, is to say to folks, if you're listening, we can now prove, and the Congress has all but said through implication, that these programs are running without the oversight of the Congress, the People's House, the Senate, or the White House. And because of that, these programs are illegal. So if law enforcement were to come on behalf of the legal government of the United States, you are to say, yes, sir, put your guns down and let them in.